All right, I think I got everything working now. Should be good. Okay. Okay, it only looks smaller because it's on a smaller screen. Okay. Let's... And I completely forgot to do that. Of course, every stream, I forget to do that. Every stream. Why every stream? Why every stream? Come on. Let's go over to these settings on here. I'm only gonna make it like that. I don't know why I'm organizing this now. I could have organized this before. Why didn't I think of that? Anyway, let's do this. Okay. I remember I was extremely angry with what's called, okay, with this game at one point. I don't exactly remember what it was, but I remember being extremely angry at one point playing this. I mean, I'm still mad about the fact that I'm yelled at. Do I have an upgraded version of this? Okay, so what was the what is the there was a specific one. There was a specific one. What was it? There was a specific button. I don't remember what it was. What was the what was the options? Where's the menu? This one, career, resume job. What was the what were the controls again? I can't remember what the controls were. Can I please see the controls? Controls. Oh, right here. Okay, okay, here we go. There was a specific one that highlighted them. I remember this. Oh, it's tab. Okay, what's the Dorm. Something walls. What would that be, huh? Oh, okay. Well, let me just find my way up there, and I'll be right up there. Let's see. Yeah, as I was saying, I do remember being very mad at this game at one point. There we go. Okay. Here we go. Okay, give me a second. Let's coin the, why don't we coin the window right here? Seems like a nice idea. Okay, also, okay, actually, there are some, I don't mean to. Okay. Oh, okay. Yeah. Also, question, why do we play games where we do manual labor and yet not go out and get paid to do these things? I don't know. I think it's because it's more satisfying in games to do, and the reward that you get is more instant, I would say. I would say that the reward that you get is more instant. And it really seems, and also because I feel like that in games, it's like if you mess up, you can just restart it. You can just restart it easily, be able to do it again. While in real life, if you fuck up, you just fucked up. That's it. That's really it. I think that that's the reason. Anyway, I was watching a streamer today. He's a guy that I know from Bible study. He, Frosty Arcade on Twitch. And while I was listening to it on Twitch, because I don't have an ad blocker on my phone because I cannot get that for some reason, it won't let me. Yeah, or at least if I do, it just won't use it on that. It won't only use it on like on a browser service. But I use a separate app. I don't use it. Waiting for that church and the church simulator. Yeah. I mean, that one is more like that one. I would say that one's like you're not really doing much either. You're just sitting there, unless you're the priest, then or the pastor, then that would make more sense for it to be church simulator. Or, I mean, I'm pretty sure if I looked it up, I'm pretty sure I can find like a simulator for church. I would honestly use that at my Bible study. But I was reading, but anyway, I was watching his stream, or I was listening to it because I was at work, and I'm just getting these back to school ads, which other than the fact that I keep getting worried because I'm like, oh no, oh shit, I have to go back to school. Well, because I actually do have to go back to school because, well, I'm going back to college for, what was it, social media and digital advertising specialist. So that's what I'm doing, and I'm listening to this, but then I get the ad for like back to school, and it's all going like, oh, you should go over to this store right here and get get all these supplies for low prices of like $6.99, and I'm like, if you're looking to save money, go to the dollar store. I assure you, I promise you, you will get the same quality stuff that you're looking for there. You want a notebook? They have notebooks. You need those 3-panel like cardboard things for your science project? They have it there. I don't really know where people live, so whatever the equivalent of the dollar store that we have here is over there. Then there you go. Like I promise you, you will get the same. You'll get the what you need there. Dollar Tree, yeah, Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, whatever, or whatever. Dollar General, even then. Dollar Tree, Dollar Store, whatever. Like even then, even Dollar General is fine. Dollar Plus, so many. Yeah, but I promise you, people, I promise you, you know, if you go to those places, you're gonna get the same. You're gonna get the same stuff that they're telling you to get at those expensive places. It's like, I get it, it's Amazon, it's like, yeah, you can get it in overnight shipping for low prices. It still costs more than a dollar. You're gonna want to really save up on, if you want to save up on money this year for school supplies, just go to Dollar Tree or Dollar Store or Dollar General, Dollar Store, Dollar Tree, whatever the fuck, Dollar Town. Nah, I don't really. Dollar Plus, even then, just go there. Not to mention that you, like, even for the people that are like, oh, we want wine glasses, you can get wine glasses at the Dollar Store as well. Fun fact. I don't know, a lot of people, for some reason, a lot of people don't know that. A lot of people don't understand that you can get wine glasses at the Dollar Store as well. You can't get wine, but you can get, like, you can get utensils there. Right? I mean, like, and when I say utensils, I mean, like, you can get, like, plates. And you can get, like, cups there for $1. I mean, really, just yeah. Like, the main reason is because when I was a kid, that's what my parents did. Mostly because my dad's like the type of person that likes to save a lot of money. I do too. Look, if I can buy something cheap that has expensive quality, I'll take it. But if I buy it for cheap and I get cheap quality, that makes sense. Well, not everything in these dollar stores aren't just $1. They do sell stuff that are more. Yeah, like the Dollar General, which I believe is like really dumb that has the name dollar in it if it's not even going to be it's not even gonna be like $1. I go in there and it's like, oh yeah, it's generally $1. What do you mean generally $1? This thing's like 12 bucks. You're selling a phone in here for like $85. What do you mean this is generally $1? Okay, dormer walls. Okay, so almost done. From what I remember is that the walls don't typically need to be... They don't need to be like completely clean. I'm just gonna clean up all of these. Yeah, but it's like, why don't tell me that things in here are $1 and then turn around and say, yeah, no, this is like 12 bucks. You can't do that to me. You cannot do this to me. Okay, so didn't they used to have an actual story with this game? Honestly, I do not know. All I know is that I came in here and I just saw the game and someone said play it. It's great. Oh fuck. Someone said play it. It's amazing. And I was like, okay, great. And I started playing it. You know what? While we're here, why not just clean up this. Let's clean up this thing. Like, here's the thing. Like, earlier you stated, why do we play games and not do the mediocre tasks in real life? Here's the thing. Back when I worked at Village Inn, I still have my Village Inn uniform. I don't work there anymore. But back when I worked at Village Inn, they had a power washer that was a lot like this, except more, what was it? It was all like this, except back here it had like it was like right here where it had like the battery and you would hook it up to the hose. And sometimes they'll be like, hey, go out to the dumpster and then just, but they changed it because I thought there was like a later clean house or whatever, but you start to find more creepy stuff. Yeah, cause it talked about that a bit right here. But anyway, at my last job, they did have me like go and power wash like the dumpster in the back. Just the front though. They didn't really care about the sides. The only time they cared about the sides was that one time when the health inspector was coming in. I'm outing a lot of things about Village Inn right now. I mean, I got paid like I got paid like $10.25 an hour, which I was making like about $1,000 a month, but which is pretty standard, But and I'm making the same amount of money now that I was making back then, but less hours. Like I no longer feel like I'm dying every single time I go there. Like I honestly, like one day I'm not joking. One day I was actually crying because I had to go to work, despite the fact that I was choosing to do this because I was in debt at the time to my car. But I'm good now. But you know, I kind of missed the power wash thing. Power wash thing wasn't even as satisfying as it is in this game, actually. Power washing, it wasn't even as satisfying as it is in this game. I'm glad that I'm glad that this has like a system. I'm glad that it has like like if you look at like the top right corner, you see. So have the average person probably gotten more and more lazier? I have no idea. I say that we've gotten more and more productive, or at least not really productive, but like we're working. I would say that each person is like, the more each generation goes on, I would say that people are either working more or the same as the last generation, simply because of how the economy is going. Simply because of how the economy is going. Because back in the 1950s, like it was the average what was it, minimum wage was like $3.75 an hour, $3.75 an hour, and now it's like what is it? I don't feel like my generation's worked as hard as my dad's generation, and then my granddad's generation. No, because the thing is, like, the reason why I think every generation either works either the same or harder is because every generation is like, yes, we're finding easier and easier ways to do stuff, but because of the fact that we're finding easier and easier ways, here's the thing: simplicity is a spectrum. It's a line, essentially. And okay, not a spectrum, but simplicity is a line. There are two ends of the line, all right? On one end you got complicated, in the middle you have simplicity, and on the other end you have complicated. You start with complicated, you start getting more and more and more simple, but then you get to simple. Great. But people are like, no, we need to make this more simple, even though it's a perfect simplicity. But no, they want to make it more and more simple to the point where it gets complicated again. And because of this, more and more people are working hard again. Because while yes, we want to make things simple, because people are like, nah, we need to make this more easier to do, despite the fact that it's at its easiest. I'm pretty sure, like, I believe that there was like what was his name? Yeah, Einstein had this quote: things should be as simple as they can, but no simpler. As simple as they can be, but no simpler, because the more easy you try and make something, the harder it becomes. So that's the thing, like, the more easy things get, like, we're making things easier and easier to do, but the more easy it gets, the harder it becomes. That's the problem here. Okay. That's what I would say. Scrooge McDuck works smarter, not harder. Yes. I feel like Scrooge McDuck like did somewhat teach people stuff, not a lot, but like, because it was supposed, like, DuckTales was like more just like, oh, they're just on adventures. But I feel like that even those like shows where it's like, oh, they're just going on adventures, it still teaches you something. Like, I know that in, like, there were some things that like even the ones that were like, yeah, some episodes where the entire thing is like, oh, we're just going on adventures, just having fun. Some episodes would be like, there is a lesson to be learned here. So I feel like that even then, like DuckTales would still teach you something. And oddly enough, I've never really watched DuckTales. I still need to listen to it. I still need to watch it, I feel. thing is, like, and here's the thing, there's this picture called Work Smarter Not Harder, and it's a picture of like a bunch of people like pushing all these cubes, and then this one guy who just got a chisel and a hammer and just made it into a boulder, just made it into like a circle, a sphere. And people are like, oh wow, so inspirational, work smarter not harder. But then I'm thinking to myself, I understand this, but on one hand this is inspirational, on the other hand I'm thinking of like the guy who ordered like and this is like a common meme where it's like the guy who ordered a bunch of cubes. Hey, why is there a sphere in here? And it's like, that actually makes sense, where it's like work smarter not harder, but then sometimes like that thing that people will call smart is actually pretty idiotic, like in the long run. Life is like a hurricane here in Duckburg. Don't know the rest of the song here in Duckburg. Life is a mystery. We'll solve a mystery or rewrite history. DuckTales. Ooh. I don't know the entire song, okay. I can play it if I want, I think. Not sure if you've seen the older ones or the newer reboot. Honestly, I don't know either. Because here's the thing, I didn't even know that DuckTales even existed back then, and I just saw it and I was like, this is either an old one or a reboot version, and honestly, I don't really know. And there's a part of me that feels like I shouldn't care at all, but because it's like it's all there, and I'm just like, you know what, it's there. This is something to enjoy. People enjoy this. I'm not gonna knock it till I try it. But I'm still going to be like, you know what? No, I'm not going to. I'm not really gonna. Like, if someone likes it, congratulations, they like something. If they don't, if I don't like it and they do, then that's my problem. I don't really care too much. I wouldn't really care too much. So yeah. But even then, like, as I was stating, there are like shows that you would watch as a kid where it's supposed to be like it's an adventure thing, but there are those episodes where where you can actually get like a lesson from it. Also, I love how like when I was doing this, the older one was fun, but the reboot was awesome. The characters in the reboot had a bit more were a bit more distinctive from each other. Yeah, I feel like that happens a lot, but then again, reboots are not always good. Like sometimes like before a reboot, it's like, okay, there's these characters. This is just this guy. This is just Duck 1, Duck 2, and Duck 3. There you go. That's their names. But then like the reboot will come along and it's like, oh yeah, this is Huey, Louie, and Dewey. I think that's those are their names. I'm using DuckTales as an example here. I'm not actually saying this is exactly what it was like. I'm just using that as an example. But that's what it can be, where it's like they don't really put a lot of thought into it when they first go, but then when people actually end up liking it, they're like, let's put more into this. But I can name one instance. I can name one good example of a show where the reboot was not as good, and that is actually about how it happened. Yeah, but I can name. Here's one big reboot. This is the one, and I'm naming this one because this is the first time I actually ever realized, wait, hold on, something ain't right here. And it was a show I wasn't really allowed to watch, but I did sneak downstairs whenever my parents weren't looking to watch it, and that was Dexter's Laboratory. First two seasons, beautiful, awesome. Okay, there's a bunch of backgrounds, there's a bunch of detail, there's a bunch of story to this. Everything is going great. Dexter actually even seems like an evil genius in this. But then, no. Then a reboot comes along, and all of a sudden, backgrounds are just blocky. It's just a plain background. Characters don't even look the same. And I don't remember the reboot to Dexter's Lab. Well, because there was like about like either 2 to 4 seasons. There was like 2 to 4 seasons, and the first either the first season or the first 2 seasons were just like, oh yeah, everything is like everything has detail, everything has amazing. You know, Dexter actually seems like he's an evil genius, but then afterwards, then either the second season or the third season, the next 2 seasons, like first 2 seasons were amazing, or it was the first season, but then the next 2 seasons, let's just say that they had 2 seasons that were good, and then it had 2 other seasons that were bad. The second 2 seasons were just like backgrounds were extremely bad, characters seemed extremely like plain now. They didn't have a lot of detail to it, and then all of a sudden Dexter just seemed like he was just an arrogant like egotistical maniac that just wanted to just like prove to everyone that he was smarter than everyone else. Like he was like that one kid in class that like before it was like, ah yes, I'm an evil genius, I'm gonna make this stuff, I actually have a plan for this. But then next 2 seasons, the last 2 seasons that came up, it was like, oh, I'm better than you, and here's why I'm better. It was the equivalent of that one kid who, no matter what, had to be that one guy that like was better than everyone no matter what. Like that's what he did. That was him. That was Dexter in like the next 2 seasons. And the thing is, like, when I was a kid, I noticed that, but it was in the way of how Stewie wanted to take over the world and kill Lois, but then slowly faded from that. Yeah, but that one I feel like is an exception, because like that one happened slowly over time. And there were some episodes where it kind of explained why he didn't do that anymore. One of them is the one where he had that one near-death experience. Like he had that one near-death experience and went to hell, and then like a few episodes later, he saw his future self, and it was explained all of that. But then history kind of rewrote itself. But then like several of the times, it just mentions why he doesn't do that anymore, where he actually started seeing because like slowly over time, he actually there were some episodes that explain this by showing that Stewie actually saw his mother as an actual human and not just a burden to him. Like he's still like there's still like remnants of him like still being like, I don't like this woman. Yeah, that's true, they did. Like there's still remnants of him being like, I don't like this person must die. There have been several episodes where he actually did end up killing her, or he thought that he killed her. But yeah, like they're like that one I give an exception to, because like that one happened, because that happens slowly over time, and then they have like ways of explaining it. You know, I'm glad that you came in, because I came into this not even knowing if I was even going to talk about anything at all. But you've given me a lot to talk about. But yeah, that, as I stated, that gets an exception. That one is an exception, because there were several of them that did that. There were several like other shows that did that. Like, what's another show that did that? Honestly, I don't know. Well, The Simpsons actually, I'm glad I managed to make it. Yeah, The Simpsons, Sideshow Bob, that's another one where it, like, for like about 30 years, whereas Sideshow Bob was like after Bart, but then there was that one episode where Sideshow Bob, oh, I'm sure there are a bunch. Yeah, but then there was that one where Sideshow Bob's like he's in prison, and he's talking to his therapist, and at one point his therapist asks him, why do you do this? Like, what is the purpose behind it? Think to yourself, Bob, what are you gonna do after he's gone? And there have been other episodes where Bob actually gets Bart and actually kills him. But then after he's killed him, he's like, oh, I can finally do what I've been wanting to do. But then after a while, he's just bored and is like, you know what? I need to bring him back. But then he brings him back and kills him again and keeps on doing it over and over again, because like all these years I was just going to kill him. But then now that it's actually done, I have nothing else to do, so I'll just do it again. But then there was this one episode where I think it was like the last episode that like Bob was actually like after Bart, because he realizes also when he helps Bart saving him from his brother. Yeah, there's also that as well. I haven't really seen The Simpsons since like season 13. I mean 30. So there's a lot that I know for a fact that there's a lot that I've missed, but yeah, there's several of them, because one of them, the therapist actually asked Bart, like, not Bart, Bob, what he's gonna do, like, what's the purpose, like, why does he do this in the first place? And honestly, you know what? I watched Simpsons like from episode 1 all the way up until 30. Not once did I ever get a good explanation on why Sideshow Bob is mad at Bart. Like, what Bart did that was so heinous that he humiliated Bart to the, Bob to the point where he need to kill him. Like, what was so heinous? Like, what did he do? Like, it's implied that he did something really bad, but what was so bad? Like, I need to know. Like, that's something I never got that as an explanation. That's another thing. It's like you have like a character going and doing all this stuff, saying that they must destroy this character because of this reason, but it's never explained why. And I've talked to my dad about this, and he's like, well, does it ever say what flavor this character's what flavor this person Bart destroyed his life career episode that Bob framed Krusty? Oh, okay, that makes sense. But my point still stands on like okay, so okay, that's a good explanation. Okay, that I'm glad that I've been given this explanation. But my point still stands on like when characters are said, I must kill this person, or I must get rid of this person because of reason here, but it's never explained. And as I was saying, I talked to my dad about this at one point, and he's like, well, does it ever explain what kind of fruit this character likes? What favorite color this person likes? No, because sometimes they just leave stuff out. But honestly, when it comes to stuff like that, like, you just gave me that example, you just gave me that explanation right there. But when there's other characters where they're like, I'm doing this because this happened to me, but it's never really given but no one's ever really given an explanation. It's times like those where details like that, the audience deserves to get an explanation for that. And I know that there are like tons of like shows, movies that do this. But before I figured out before you gave me that explanation, that's been like my main question in The Simpsons. Yeah. It was the fact that Bart outsmarted him because of a simple thing, because Bob had big feet, and that caused Bob to, well, we had a mind break. Well, then continued outsmarting him, and Bob always seen himself as a genius. Yeah, that's another thing. Like, Bob always saw himself as a genius. That was more of like narcissism playing in, because like someone who cannot see themselves to be outsmarted by anyone else is just like a full-on narcissist. Like, if someone like sees themselves as a genius, and they you know, yeah, narcissism, you nailed it. Yeah, I know. I spent quite some time actually learning in in my psychology class back in high school. Here's the thing, I just haven't, it wasn't just that, but there were actual times where I've actually like looked into like different like mental illnesses and actually learned about stuff like that. I'm not going into psychology, but I do like find that interesting. That is something that I do find interesting. Not something I want to pursue as a career, but something I do want to actually learn about. That is actually something I do want to learn about. Something I do actually enjoy learning. Like, one of the things that I liked learning about was like psychopathy or sociopathy. Yeah, like, so like someone as a psychopath or someone as a sociopath, and what the differences were. A good example is a difference between these is that like something bad happens to a go up to people and ask them to lay down on on this couch and then start to examine them. Yeah. Just hold on. No, wait, I have something for that. Hold on one moment. All right, yes, please sit down. Now tell me, how does that make you feel? I, I had that. Then when you get caught, point and yell, "What's that over there?" And then they look, jump. When they look, jump out the window. Yeah. Sir, what are you doing? Look, a distraction. I have that specific clipboard for like props in some shorts that I've made. But yeah. But yeah, I've looked at I've done a lot of I used to do a lot of research to the point where my parents got very concerned when I was looking at serial killers and documentaries on that stuff, because it's like, why are you so interested in this? And I'm like, I'm just over here actually learning about I'm over here like trying to look into the minds of like why these people are like this. Like, for example, a good example of like a serial killer is Jeffrey Dahmer, which one thing I'm still mad about that case is the fact that his dad, Lionel Dahmer, said no to when they said that they want to look at his brain. Because I want to state that I swear I personally believe that if he actually said yes, and they looked at his brain to like examine it, see what was wrong, we would know so much more about certain stuff. You shouldn't should then slowly look up at them with a creepy smile. I'm trying to make sure I'd be able to get away with it. No, absolutely not. No, mainly because like the person that's like the most like concerned with it is my dad, who was a paramedic for a long time and had to like deal with like a bunch of like wounds from stuff like that. It's one of the reasons why we can't even mention the word roulette in the house with him near, because he had to like deal with like a bunch of stuff like that. So he was a paramedic for 40 years, and I cannot mention certain words around him without him being like, stop, don't just don't talk about that. Which is weird, because a lot of stuff that he's concerned about me being interested in, he's the one who got me interested in it. Knives were one of them. Like when I was a kid, like every time we'd go to like a sporting goods store, he would be like, let's go look at the knives. Then lo and behold, 15-year-old me is interested in knives. He's like, why are you interested in knives? I'm worried about you. I'm like, what? Nowadays I just carry a knife. Nowadays I just carry a pocket knife with me everywhere I go, just because it comes in handy. Now, what would be scary is if he did allow them to look at his brain and find out nothing was out of the ordinary. Well, that would be scary. That would be scary, but they most certainly would have found something. They most certainly would have found something. Like his interviews even showed that he was like a different breed of a serial killer. Like he was just a different breed. Mostly due to the fact that he just immediately like when they're like, you want to confess, and he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna confess. I've already like it's like he knew, like unlike all the other unlike any other serial killer that was just like, nah, I'm not gonna confess. He was like, you know what? They know about it. I'm doomed anyway. Let's just get it over with. Like that was one of the things that set him apart from everyone else. I think the only other serial killer that did that was, what was it? Richard Ramirez, I believe, was the only other serial killer that actually did something like that. I don't know much about Richard Ramirez. I just know that like he was just known as the Night Stalker, and also maybe a chemical imbalance. There actually that might have been a thing, because Lionel Dahmer, his dad, even stated in his book and in an interview, stating that when Jeff was a child, he did have to go under some surgery, and they gave him a bit too much, like I don't know if it was like anesthetic, or there was a certain chemical that they gave a bit too much of when he was a kid. And that was like one of the things that they determined to be one of the reasons why he was the way he was. When he was asked in an interview if he tortured animals, he said, I didn't really like to torture animals when I was. Was it Jeffrey Dahmer that was the one that dressed up as a clown, or was that someone else? No, that was no. Jeffrey Dahmer was known as the Milwaukee Cannibal. Well, he was the one that would bring people to his apartment and kill them in there, and then eat their bodies sometimes. John Wayne Gacy was the clown. John Wayne Gacy was the clown. That guy. What he did was he confessed his murder. He confessed all of his murders when he was drunk, but the next day when he was sober, he denied any of his confessions that he had stated. Not to mention, like, when they found, like, the bodies, like, to this day, they still don't know if they found all the bodies, like, underneath his house. Like, they still haven't figured it out. They still think that there are still more underneath. Like, somewhere. Okay. What? Wait, am I missing some? Am I missing some? Oh. Yeah. Yeah, Gacy was the one that would dress up as a clown. Which the thing is that when he was found out, so many people were like shocked because he was actually a pillar of the community. He was a pillar of the community. He owned a construction business that his dad passed down to him. And he because that's 98. What else do we have? No. Great. I have no idea. Oh, it's right here. So reason why he would dress up as a clown is because, well, as it was stated, he was a pillar of the community. He would entertain kids at their birthday parties, all while using his construction business to hide the fact that he was a serial killer. So there was that. So yeah. I think the first serial killer that they actually coined the term serial killer was Ted Bundy, I believe. I think that's where they first coined the term. But I believe like the first ever serial killer that was ever really caught was like all the way back in the Middle Ages. This guy, he would like take like babies and like slaughter them to be like I don't know if it was like a demonic ritual or something. I don't remember. So yeah. But yeah, Gacy was a pillar of the community, and everyone was shocked when they first heard it. I didn't even realize this side was okay. Never mind. I guess we're done with that side. I did a lot of research into this, which is weird because there's not really any reason why I should really research this. But if there's ever like a test someday where I need to learn about this, congratulations, I'm there. I'm there to win the $1 million prize or something. I'm just gonna. You guys are gonna turn on the channel and just turn on the channel and there's gonna wait. And was poorly the inspiration for Stephen King's It? Yeah, I think so. You guys are just gonna turn on the channel one day and just turn on TV one day and all of a sudden you're just gonna see me be up there and it's like, and Panda for the $2 million prize. Who was this serial killer? I don't know. I don't even know why I like to this day, like sometimes I'm still like I find myself like listening to documentaries on this and I'll still even ask myself, why am I listening to this? Like there's no reason I should be listening to this. Why am I listening to this? Wooden trims. Wooden trims. I would expect that to be like around here maybe? Wooden trims. Wooden trims. One trims. What? Yeah, I believe that's what I think that's what inspired. Oh, it's this. Oh. Okay, I see now. Yeah, it's what loosely it's what kind of inspired it. So yeah, I believe I believe that's what that was. I believe that's what inspired it. Well, what people should know is that mental illness is not. Well, it's like people who listen or watch documentaries of World War II stuff, even though they've seen that same thing about battle like 10, 15 times before they have interest in it. Yeah, I know. Dahmer was what really got me interested in this, and the reason why is because my mom because it comes on because the Dahmer series comes on, and I see my mom watching it at one point, and I'm like, "What's this?" And she's like, "Oh, it's the Dahmer series. It's Dahmer. You want to watch it?" I'm like, "What's Dahmer?" And then I'm thinking to myself, "Where have I heard that name before?" And then one day I'm in the car, I'm listening to some songs. I'm on a random playlist that I got, and the song Katy Perry's Dark Horse comes on. There's a certain line in there. She's a beast. I call her Karma. She'll eat your heart like Jeffrey Dahmer. And I was like, that's where I've heard his name before. And so I decided to listen to it, to watch it, and I'm like, this is actually interesting. And there's this thing that came up, and it was like the people that made the Dahmer series were like, okay, without, like, they tweeted out at one point, without spoiling anything, what's your favorite part of the Dahmer series? To which somebody tweeted, without spoiling anything, these are actual cases. Okay, I guess I go back to here. Job complete. I love these time lapses. Continue. Ooh! Which one's more fun? I mean, this won't give me more money. Sure. Start job. I can't promise I'm gonna finish it within this episode, but yeah. Yeah. Okay. I completely forgot about this, but I completely forgot about how people did this. I have Gas Station Simulator on my PS4. I play once in a while. Yeah, that's one of those games where it feels like that's one of those games where it's like this game. Like, I haven't played this in a long time. You can tell because because my I can't even leave this. Oh no. Oh, I'm trapped. Send help. Please, somebody, anybody, help me. Oh no. Somebody, anybody, everybody scream. Wait, isn't that the park that I did so long ago? I feel like that's gonna be next. Anyway, yes, yeah, but like this game is like one of those games where like I don't really want to play like all the time. And whenever explain to you what kind of compound they use the structures such as these, I just want to say I'm not gonna be able to read all of these because I'm not a fast reader. I don't read very fast. So I'm just going to like, if you see the text come up, there's a good chance I'm not gonna read it. I'm just gonna like let it just go. I just need one of these to be done. I just need one of them to be done. Also, another thing is like those AI like HOA Karen video stories that exist. I've been listening to those because, and the reason why I've been listening to them is because like I know for a full fact that they are fake. It's just I'm making a series on my channel called Fake Karen News, and I'm using this as kind of like inspiration. I'm using this as a bit of like inspiration for that. One of them is this just in, local Karen. And we're back with more fake Karen news. This just in, local Karen demands a military discount. When she was asked for her military ID, she said that she's not in the military. Yeah, but she is neighbors with a widow whose deceased husband was part of the military, and therefore that should count. Do you ever listen to any of the creepypasta stuff that's on YouTube? I used to. There was an entire point in my life where I was like obsessed with creepypasta, and I used to love listening to those. I've since stopped doing that because as much as I love horror stuff, reason why I stopped doing that is the main reason why I now sleep with a gun near my bed. And I'm not joking. This is actual real. This is an actual real gun, real bullets and all. Well, but I sleep with this next to my bed because of those stories. Because I'm just like, as much as I know that they're not real, I wake up in the middle of the night and I'm paranoid as all fuck. I don't know why, and I'm like, I know that this is not real, but the fuck. But why does this scare me? And that's the thing. Like that's been that way all my life. Is that I love listening to scary stuff, but like I don't like being scared. I don't like the feeling of being scared. I like listening to scary stuff, but I don't like to see. Well, I mean, more the paranormal style creepypasta, not the ones that could be actual. Even those I'm like, yeah, I'm like, yeah, no. Well, what's that? What's that? A gun won't help me. I don't care. I feel safe with it. I'm keeping it with me. Yeah, I'm keeping this shit with me. That's weird to listen to scary stuff but don't like it. No, you don't understand. I like the scary stuff. I just don't like being scared. I don't know how that makes sense. Even like, cause saying that out loud now doesn't even make sense to me. I like the stories. I like the scary stories. I just don't like feeling scared. Okay, got it. Yeah. It's like someone with diabetes that doesn't like the feeling of being sick afterwards, but they still like sugar. Understand that, yeah. Why did I use diabetes as an example? Why did I use that? That was not even a good example. Why did I use that as that wasn't even a good example. That makes sense, yeah. Yeah, I try, it's like, I don't like being scared. I hate being startled. That's another thing. I don't like being startled. What the fuck? Wait, hold on. What small little tiny specks are left on this? There we go. Well, now that that's done, we're gonna let's get this done. No, I don't know why I used diabetes as an example. Well, but I love the story. I just don't like the nudge with the jump scares. Whereas I'm okay. Oh, the thing is, like, jump scares, I'm like in games, I'm just like, you son of a bitch. I'm like that. However, like in real life, if someone comes up to me and is like, hey, I got you, I'm just like, please no. Like, for example, my brother does that. He knows that I hate it. He knows that I don't like it. Yet he does it all the time. The other day he jump scared me with his car. Like he has like one of those cars where like the lights just go down. And at one point I'm getting out of my car, I'm listening to music, I'm like lip syncing, I'm singing along with the music, and I just see like the lights come up. I'm like, what the fuck? And I thought nobody was there with me, and I got scared. I was like, why? I was like, why are you like this? The thing is, the jump scares in games, I expect those to come up. So when those come up, I'm just like, when those come up, I'm just like, okay, you son of a bitch, I knew that was coming. But when a jump scare comes up that I didn't understand that was coming up, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't know if it's just the autism in my brain or if it's just me just actually not liking this. Okay, I got this. Okay, okay, so if I can just get this done. How much of this do you think how much of this is is considered quarter pipe. Is all of this considered quarter pipe? Also, when I said somebody, anybody, help me, I just remembered the song, like, from Phineas and Ferb, Squirrels in My Pants. Now somebody, anybody, everybody scream! Ain't got no chickens, ain't got no rats, S-I-M-P, squirrels in my pants. I don't remember the rest, but that's just what I remembered. This can't even count as a half pipe. This is just a full pipe. What do you mean half pipe? What do you mean half pipe? Like jump scares in games, I'm fine with. Like I like playing like horror games. That's fun. I like to play that. And it's like Phasmophobia, one of the games I love to play. Yeah, I even play like some horror games on. Like I just played some horror games on. My great grandpa pulled in Uno reverse on a guy that jump scared him. One of those scare houses. Then the kid he was messing with me when he jump scared. Great granddad he pulled that. If he was having a heart attack. If you just when I get old, if I ever go into a haunted house, I'm gonna pull that. I'm gonna pull that. Like they're gonna scare me. I'm like, I'm having a heart attack. I remember there was this that reminds me, there was this book series called Big Nate, and in one of the books there's a certain point where he's talking to his grandfather, and his grandfather says, you know, being old's not so bad. And he's like, how so? Well, watch. And he just goes and just insults somebody to their face. And then the person just doesn't do anything, just walks away. And then he just looks to Nate and says, see, you could just insult people and people will just think that you're going senile. And I'm just like, that's just a power move. That is just a power move. That is just a power move that he just pulled. You need to really know how to do it. You don't just shout it out. Just no. Yeah. So I must study the heart. I must study the art of heart attack. Grandpa used his on everyone. He just insults somebody and people are just like, oh, he's just probably going to say now. He's fine. It's fine. People just see, you can just insult people to their face and people will just automatically assume you're going senile. The Big Nate books I actually loved. They made that into a series and I don't think I liked it. I mean, he sounds exactly like how I imagined him sounding in the series. Like how I thought he sounded in the book, he sounded exactly like that in the series, how I imagined him in the book, but still. But then, wait, wasn't there also another series? Oh yeah, it was called Middle School. It's called it was like Middle School. How I Survived. I remember that. I remember that series, the Middle School series. I remember that because my mom, I was homeschooled for like 5th grade, and in 6th grade I was also homeschooled. But then I was going to middle school for 7th grade, and because my mom wanted me to be prepared, she got me a book, the Middle School series book, and. Oh wow. It was the specific summer camp one. That and then on one of my former boyfriends that when we broke up, he really handled me badly, and then my granddad basically went up to him and told him, "Pastor, this." Yeah. But I just remember that book series, and you know, I actually really liked it. But then I saw the movie, and I was like, I need this. I love it. That was like one of the very few times that I actually ever really. The Middle School series was like one of the very few times I saw a book get turned into a movie, and I actually liked it. That was one of the very few that I actually was like, I like this. I'm not trying to change subject. I just somehow got into that series, and I was like, I just wanted to continue talking about it. But yeah, that's just one of those things where it's like, I swear, senior citizens are just like one of the most most I can make a power move on you and you can't do shit about it type, like, and they're like the best type of I can make a power move on you and you can't do shit about it type of people. They're one of the best. But however, there are some that are like, oh, I don't really like how this is going. But then there are just times when shit like that happens where it's like, yeah, I'm moving backwards. I don't know why I was moving backwards. But yeah, that's something I do like. How the fuck did we get from serial killers to this? Oh yeah, we were talking about serial killers, and I was talking about then you asked about creepypasta games or series, and then we got to that. Then we got to the like haunted house, and then we got to this. Just take all that away. Just okay. But yeah, that's gotta be okay. So Arch is just that, and then oh, like there are just some people that I just gotta respect for their power moves. Like just some power moves have just gotta be respected. Okay, this quarter pipe is still. What? Am I missing something? I'm missing something. Wait, do I have to like clean this? Is this count as the quarter pipe? Yep. Okay, there we go. Okay. Okay, once we got like one thing done, everything else seems to be fine. Not sure if you got into them when they were big, but did you ever look into the SCP Foundation? I actually did. I'm not sure if I got into it when it was huge, but I did get into it because my brother, who I'm not really on good terms with right now, who like this was back when he was scared of absolutely everything, and it wasn't even just that, but he would use that as an excuse to get like his way on everything, and he would like he even looked up like the SCP Foundation for that, and I was like, I came across that at one point, and I actually ended up becoming like obsessed with it. There was a phase in my life where I just loved it. For some reason, my favorite one was SCP 087, SCP 999, and SCP 3008. For some unknown reason, I don't know why, but for some reason I was just obsessed with those. Which is SCP 087, the Infinite Staircase, SCP 999, the Tickle Monster, and SCP 3008, the Infinite IKEA. Which that one is fine, but then there is one where like Glitch had me play I think it was like Containment Breach, and there was a teddy bear in there, Builder Bear, and it just screamed, and then I heard like a bunch of, well, it was really big for a few years ago. Nowadays it's kind of meh. Yeah, but but anyway, there's this one SCP called Builder Bear, and I encountered it. It screamed, and I heard like a bunch of things growing, and I died. I did a bit more research. I found out that when that one screams, a bunch of ears grow on you until like you suffocate. And I was like, oh. And then I remembered something. I realized, hold on a second. This was an actual, yeah, Builder Bear. Look up SCP Builder Bear, and it's just a bunch of different like stuffed animal bears that are like made out of like different things. Like one's just made out of stone, one's just made out of ears, one's made out of like pure radiation, one's made out of like guns, and all that stuff. No, Builder Bear basically makes bears out of anything. Yeah. Yeah. And I realized something about that one specific bear, the ear one, and I was like, wait, hold on. I've actually had a nightmare of this thing. Maybe not this exact thing, but like like something similar. The similar thing was it was a fish instead, and what happened is when it made a very high pitched noise, it ate you. That's what that nightmare was. I had a lot of nightmares when I was a kid for like unknown reasons. I still don't understand what like half the nightmares were about. One was the Pepperami guy. Look up Pepperami and you'll immediately see why I had a nightmare of that guy. High-pitched noises are something I'm not really like I really like. I don't really like high-pitched noises. Maybe that's one of the reasons. But yeah, it doesn't turn into ears. It's not pepperoni. It's pepperame. It's like pepperoni, but you know, like Slim Jim. It's a lot like that. Hold on, I'll show you. I'll show you a picture. Hold on, pep or yeah, mass pepperami pepperami mascot. This guy. This guy. I had a nightmare of this guy. And that's how you spell it, Pepperami. He spends most of the ad just like screaming or just being like ah or something like that, like as if he's constantly angry. I think that's why I had a nightmare of him. You can immediately see why. Also, I want to show you something else. There's also this. I want to show, like, this is another thing that gave me absolute nightmares. This is another thing. This was an ad by Axe, by the way. This guy. This guy also gave me nightmares. Just look up Axe chocolate body spray ad and you'll know what I'm talking about. Kind of reminds me of California raisins. Yeah, the California raisins. That was another one. Wait, hold on. California raisins. Yeah, kind of. I still need to look up I should look up the California raisins. Yeah, but just like look up like Axe chocolate commercial and you'll see what I'm talking about. Like people are committing cannibalism with this guy. I'm not joking, and that got past like the FDA. That got past them. I remember those. Yeah. Also, this is the okay, so I'm just okay. I'm going like one at a time just so I can like yeah, like there are several like commercials that just gave me nightmares. Always a smile on his face. Yeah. And the thing is, it wasn't even a smile that, like, the facial expression wasn't even a smile of, I'm happy. It was a smile of, I'm just going through my day. There's even a certain point where a lady takes a bite out of him on the bus, and he looks at her with that smile and just goes and just looks back at the camera, like as if he just witnessed horror. And the thing is, I don't even think that the Axe chocolate spray even exists anymore. I don't really think it does. I don't think it does anymore. Always smiles, yeah. That was the other thing, is like smiling. I like the movie Smile. I haven't really seen it, but I've seen like people like talk about it, and the things that have like the specific like the smile that happens in it doesn't really scare me too much. Even like the smile demon that shows up doesn't really even scare me that much. It's just when like people are just smiling all the time, even in like like scenarios where you shouldn't even be smiling in. That just like the spray still exists, just not the guy. Yeah, I know. I just need it. I just can't find it. I don't know. I don't know why. Like there was a certain point in my life where I did want to get it, and it wasn't even because of that. It wasn't even because of that. It was more of just because I saw it at one point, and I was like, that seems interesting, and I've never been able to find it. Nowadays, I don't really even use like deodorants to really like. I don't really even use deodorant too much. I only use it like, and I don't even use it like how like a lot of like most like middle school kids use it. Like they're like, oh look at this, it's shower in a can. No, I just use it like when I'm like right. I just use it like before work when like I've showered but I still feel like but it's like you showered but you started sweating like right afterwards. It's like, why did you? Also, what you know what? I was about to say, how did the skate park get this dirty? But then I'm like, you know what? No, I'm not going to question it. I don't think I want to know. I don't think I want to know. I'm gonna stream the game Hitman tomorrow while I'm waiting for everyone to want to play Repo or something. I don't know if we're playing Repo or Lethal Company. If we're playing Lethal Company, I'm gonna need to reinstall some stuff. Yeah. Isn't there like an active volcano nearby? Not that I know of. Huh. If there was, I'm pretty sure that entire city would be dead. But yeah, I do listen to some stuff. There were some commercials as a kid that did. There was this one that honestly made me fear for my life. And the entire purpose of it was like, I don't even remember what they were advertising, but it made me fear for my life. And it was like, if you're waiting for the cable man, you might see something that you weren't supposed to see. And it just shows like a guy and he just looks out the window and he sees like some people like loading something to a trunk or something, like a body or something. He's like, if you see something you shouldn't see, you're gonna have to move away. If you move away, you're gonna have to move onto a ship. And if you do that, the ship might break and might sink. You're gonna be left with nothing, and then you're gonna have to, and it's gonna go through all. It goes through all of this stuff until like the guy just is dead, until he's like fucking dead. Like it just like goes from him to like barely surviving after a cruise ship sank, to him just like in the restroom in like a restaurant or something, like just brushing his teeth or just like shaving, and then it just shows him dead. Like it just shows his funeral, closed casket and everything. And I was like it honestly, I don't even remember what it was telling me. It was probably like just don't use cable or something like that. And I don't remember what it was telling me. It was what it was advertising, but it was like, yeah, if you don't do this, this is gonna happen. If that happens, you're gonna. It was like the entire like, don't steal cable or something like that. Maybe, I don't know, but it's like if you're waiting for a cable guy or something. But it was like a full on like, I don't know if you remember the books, but if you give a mouse a cookie, he'll ask for this. If you give him that, he's gonna ask for more. If you give him more, and it's all of that, and it was the same exact logic. If you do this, this is gonna happen. If that happens, this is gonna happen. And it's like, what the fuck? How did we get from this guy waiting for the cable guy to he's dead? He's just fucking dead. How did this happen? I demand to know. Okay, that's done. Okay, we're gonna do this. We're gonna do this now. Down in the face down toilet of a restaurant. Yep. And for some reason, that commercial sounds familiar. Yeah, I know. And I just remember like when I first heard that, when I saw that, I honestly just feared for my life. I was like, huh, and as I stated, I don't even know what they were even advertising. I don't know what they were advertising. Yeah, maybe I had to do something with cable. I don't know. so many things happened in it to the point where I was like, what is going on? I'm scared that this is gonna happen. I'm scared this is gonna happen. This was like before I realized that there are some things that you just don't need to care about. Okay, ramp. Okay, so ramp. Okay, ramp is now done. But yeah, there were several of those commercials. And the thing is, like, I didn't feel fear, and then after that I didn't really feel that much fear or in my body until like one day, like I come back from like summer camp for scouts, and we're staying at a hotel because we're in California, at this point, and we're like, okay, before we go back to Texas, we're gonna stay in a hotel. And so we're at the hotel, and there's a pool there, and I'm like, okay. And then I see a book at one point, and the book just like shows this guy's life, and it's animated, and it shows this guy's life, and it's like he's taking his first steps, and it's just showing him going through his life, but the life is just depicted as him walking down this path. And it's like he soon married. He had 2 kids, but then it shows like this guy like being like will you take the route of God and Christ? And it's a very narrow path. And he's like, I don't know, it seems very scary. And then a guy just comes to him and says, oh, don't worry, you can go to it later. You have like about 40 more years left to live. It's fine. He's like, okay, and he goes with the guy, but then immediately after he dies and he's in hell, and he's like, I thought that you said I have 40 years left, and it turns out the guy was the devil, and he's like, I lied. Now you're mine forever. And that shit also made me like extremely scared. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why am I reading this? And that shit has stuck with me for a long time, and I'm like, honestly, I've used that. I've even talked about that book at one point. I don't even know what the book was even called. But that was like one of those things where I hadn't felt that fear like in me for a long time, and I hadn't felt that fear since that commercial. I feel like if I just really if Google can take specifics, I'm pretty sure that I could probably like be more like, if I can be like extremely specific with that, I could possibly like get Google to like figure out what I'm talking about. Like I can possibly find that book. Like I'm pretty sure if I find, and that's a book that I've been trying to find for quite some time now. I know it's just like one. I say that and people will be like, "Oh, it's just one of those Christian nonsense." It's like, I'll talk about Christian nonsense all I want. This is my channel. I'll do what I want. I'll talk about it all I want. So, okay, I thought I got a message on Kick. No, it's just a bot. Same bot that came to me at the beginning. Yeah, but that's like one of the things. Yeah. Lol, yeah. Yeah, but as I was saying, that's like one of those fears that I hadn't felt in me in a long time. I see you're on Kick. I can go to your channel. Let me help you. Thanks. I keep Kick is like one of those things where it's like like the one thing I'm annoyed with Kick right now is the fact that I just start streaming and immediately a bot's like, tired of streaming to 0? Let's change that. Only at, and then in that thing. Isn't that what they what the message said? What? To grow channel? Yeah. But it's like one of those like the message that Kick is saying, or the message that that I was talking about with that book that I said that which I didn't feel fear like that in a long time. Okay, there we go. Okay, let's move back a bit. I don't even know really know how long I'm gonna be going for. Have you ever seen players in a game called Dredge? What? Dredge? No, I can't say that I have. I can't say that I have. But yeah. But the thing is, like when I play like horror games, that's like it's like I don't like the fear that I get from that. But the one type of fear that I hate out of any fear. Have you seen Dredge? It's a game where you work as a boat with eldritch horror elements to it. Oh yeah, no, I don't think I've. That sounds familiar, but I don't think I've really ever seen that. But anyway, as I was saying, like the horror games I like playing, the being scared, I like the aspect of the fact that there is an element to be scared of. However, the one type of scared I hate the most feeling is the type where it's like you actually start to worry. You are actually scared. You're like, I don't know if I actually fear for my life here. Well, that's called a horror game for a reason. Yeah. Yeah, but like the actual the ones where the type of scared where it actually eats at you. That one. That's the sign of an effective horror experience. Yeah, I know. The weird thing is, like, any horror game or horror movie hasn't really given me that specific fear. That one book that I found at that hotel that I got that was about that guy who just died and just went to hell because he thought that he had more time. That I haven't that type of fear I have not gotten since that book. I don't know, slasher horror doesn't scare me. Like slasher horror is not really that type of scary. That's more of like a like look under your bed, like check under your bed before you go to sleep type scary. Yeah, that it's more of that. But slashers are overrated. Yeah. However, I do believe that there's some slasher element. I'm not saying that they should do reboots on some slashers from the 80s. I'm just saying that there are some slasher elements from the 80s that they do need to bring back. I just want to state that. There are some elements that they just need to bring back. No, oversaturated. Oh, okay, I read that wrong. Saturated. Okay, yeah. But my point still stands. There are elements they do need to bring back. The thing is, I've been looking for that book for a long time now. What was the what was it? There was oh. Maybe I'm thinking more of drama suspense movies that have a bit more horror element to them. Or horror elements to them that freak me more. Yeah. I'm just gonna spray all of this with destroy all of this. I mean, how in the heck do you make a slope out of concrete? I mean, very quick. Well, then again, no, I don't like. I don't know math. I don't know. I'm not an engineer. I'm not a construction worker. This seems nice. Can I just this just okay? Skate parks do that all the time. Do all the time. Construction. Yep. Psychological horrors are the best. Yeah. Like the ones that actually, and I mean like, and when I say like the ones that make you actually work, I'm trying to get like very specific on like the actual feeling. The ones that you don't like, you actually like feel like deep down inside you, like you're just sitting there like, and like you can make a slope out of concrete. You just use wood and other things to help shape stuff. Yeah, but I'm talking about the type of feeling that you get like you're just like sitting there, you're just like trying to act calm, but inside you're like shaking, and you're just like gripping the handle of like your chair or something. That type of fear where you're just sitting there and you're just like you feel like you need to do something. Like the type of fear that you get when you made a promise and you realize, oh shit, I did not fulfill that promise. Just going there. Like you're getting from within. Yes. Yeah, kind of like that. Like the one that where it's like you feel it like within, like deep inside you. Like I don't know if you've ever. I feel like I'm trying to like describe like I'm in like I'm in the English class again, trying to describe a feeling, just like you know that feeling that you get when this happens. But I'm trying to like describe like the type of feeling that I hate the most. Just, like I don't know, horror movies, novels don't scare me if they focus on gore and violence. At least if done in the most basic way possible. Yeah. Yeah. Sometimes. Oh no, that's just it's a bot. The Menu is a great horror movie. Yeah, I need to see that. I need to see that. Shit. Fuck. Okay. Sorry. I just got like a pinched nerve in my leg. I don't know why. That's been happening not a lot, but it's been happening. What the fuck did I press? What did I press? Okay, I pressed C. C. Yeah. And I don't even like horror movies that much. Yeah, I like, as I stated, I like horror, but I don't like the feeling of actually being scared. I love horror. I like scary stuff. I just don't like I just hate the feeling of being scared. Well, I think The Menu is more of a suspense, not horror. I think it's more of like maybe like a mixture of the two. I much prefer horror games if I want to get scared. Yeah. Phasmophobia is one of them. Here's the thing. Phasmophobia, like, I remember when it came out, it was like, it's like, oh, this is the scariest game in the entire, like, in all of history. But when I played it, honestly, it's just been like, I'm trying to find like a ghost. You're thinking of Thriller's Ballot, yeah. But like Phasmophobia was like one of those games where it's like, oh, it's the scariest game ever. But then I play it and I'm just like, I don't really like what's going on. I'm not exactly in love with this feeling. It's just, this is not what I feel like. I feel like this is not what I was advertised. Like whenever someone hypes, as I've said before, like whenever someone hypes something up, and then you actually get to it and it's not as like amazing as like people said it should be, people said it was gonna be. Like, it really feels like it feels like it's just like you're being let down. Phasmophobia is one of those games where if you're playing with the right people, it can be scary. Yeah, it's that. But then I'm playing with like you guys, and all of a sudden it's like everything is hilarious now. It's like watching a movie, watching like a horror movie alone, like the right horror movie alone, is like oh, I'm so scared. But it has the Lethal Company effect where someone feels like Lethal Company, right? Yeah. But it's like watching a horror movie, like the right horror movie that will actually scare you. It's like you're extremely scared by itself. It's a complete other circus. Yeah. But you're watching a horror movie by yourself and everything is scary. But you're watching the same horror movie with your friends, and all of a sudden, instead of a horror movie, it's a comedy. Yeah, like when we're playing with each other, all of a sudden the scary aspect goes away, and it's like there's a ghost. Yes, it's still scary, but it's less scary. It's more of a comedy. This is more of a comedy. If another word for comedy is circus, then yes. Or if another word for circus is comedy, then yes. It's damn mods, I feel. Yeah, but I feel like even without the mods, even like Lethal Company is still, that's what makes it not scary to me. Yeah, but I feel like even without the mods, like we still have our like fun times. We still have like our fun times with it. Like with Neon was like one of the ones where it was like, yeah, this is just hilarious. This is just funny. Oh, for sure, which is why I love Lethal Company. Yeah. I'm still waiting for him to be like, yeah, we can play Uno. I'm still waiting for him to be like available to play Uno, because like there was a certain point where like we were like, yeah, we can play Uno, but then he never got back to any of us about that. But yeah, like games and movies are extremely scary, but if you play it with the right people, it becomes a circus. It becomes a comedy. It becomes less of a horror movie, horror experience, and more of a just a comedy. Yeah. Yeah, Neon has been incredibly busy as of recently. Yeah, yeah, I figured. So that's why I haven't really been trying to like push too much about like playing with him again. Because don't get me wrong, he's a really fun guy to play with. Maybe to you, maybe more annoying because you played with him a lot more. But sorry, I just remember something you said in one of your videos. But like he was really fun to play with. Actually, I don't remember if it was him that said it. And the same with me. I've been waiting to play. I've been waiting to wanting to post more, but I simply just can't. Yeah, for me it's like there's sometimes where I accidentally record while streaming, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it. I'm running late. I'm running out of time to like edit a video, so I'm just going to what's called just gonna upload this just as is. I don't really care. I've even been I've been trying to do more like thumbnails and editing on videos, because I know that's what gets more engagement. So I've been doing that more. However, a lot of the videos just either just flat out don't need editing, or I just like forget that I'm recording, and I'm just like, you know what, fuck it, this is just a filler video. Okay, the arch is almost done. Well, trying to get a job in summer classes doesn't help with YouTube schedule. Yeah, because I'm gonna be starting school again in August on the 25th. But the thing is, I'm only gonna be like doing the classes for only like what's it called, for like Monday and Wednesday, which works for me considering the fact that those are the 2 main days that I get off. So yeah. And besides the it's online classes, but I do have to be like in in the classroom for them. Like they're like the course is online, but I have to be like in the classroom. Okay, the arch is done. How much have we gotten? Okay, quarter pipes. Okay, so I've gotten... Okay, well, let's get this one done first. Let me, let's get this out of the way. Yeah. Yeah, the thing is, I'm on Twitch right now. I'm almost at affiliate. I just need, four different viewers on 3 different days. No, it's... Yeah, it's that. Dude, since, beginning of June, I've applied to 20 different places and followed up with, calls. So far, gotten 2 interviews and have been, rejected both times. My guy, how? How? This doesn't make sense. Then again, it also does at the same time, because this is just how jobs are, because jobs will just be like this. Jobs will just be like this. Like, they'll be like, why doesn't anyone want to get jobs? And it's like, hi, I would like a job. No, we don't want people to work for us. Then they walk away. Why doesn't anyone ever want to get a job? Why doesn't anyone want to work for us? Like, the fuck? Flashbang. Because I'm Gen Z and employees hate Gen Z. I don't understand that. I don't really understand that. It's like, my God, just because it's a generation does not mean that they are bad. Okay, so we got this one done. I can finish this ramp right here. This doesn't seem like too much. It seems fine. Seems fine. It's just I just need to just go back and forth and we're good. But that ain't gonna stop me. It shouldn't. You should just put that on your resume. I've been rejected by so many jobs, but it's not gonna. But that didn't stop me. Like, look at Beethoven. So many people told him that he couldn't make any music because he was deaf. But did he listen? Absolutely not. That guy kept going. Of course, you're not gonna listen if you're deaf. I am a persistent bitch. Hire me. Why should we hire you? Do you have any? Okay, and do you have any experience? Yes, this is my 20th interview. This is my 20th. There are some jobs that just don't require experience at all. Like when I worked at Village Inn, I didn't. Good thing I used the scary thing. And do you have any special talents? I'm very good at 2-sentence horror stories. That shit has been on my mind for so long. Yes, I got it. Ooh, that's so scary. Any special talents? I'm very good at 2-sentence horror stories. Okay, I'll give you one. No, the doorbell rang. But I wasn't expecting any visitors, especially good since I was on the moon. But it wasn't there. No, wait, there was another one. There was another one. What was it? My favorite one of all of them. What was it? Oh yeah. I don't remember exactly what the setup for it was, but I remember what Mark's like response was to it. It was, what was it? It was like the doorbell rang at night, but I wasn't expecting any visitors. Then what? Okay, I'm gonna head off. Everyone have a great night, and until next time, everyone stay out of trouble or don't get caught. Yeah. I'll take 2-word horror stories. Income taxes. Income taxes. Here's the thing, when I was listening to that episode, as funny as it was, I actually was coming up with actual responses. Like I know that the entire thing was like what's actually make this what's actually Wade naked? Yes. Lol, yes. Then what? When's I like to know? There was a certain point where Mark actually did seem to actually was actually able to get it actually seemed like he was actually able to get like a 2-sentence horror story in, but then he immediately like shut down afterwards. Like what was it? My dog always waits for me at my porch when I get home. And it was even he was fooled by the creature that was wearing my skin. Like that one actually seemed like he was locked in. But then like it seemed like that he actually was able to get it. But then right afterwards, good thing I used the scary tape. Now remember that person is blind. One of the most behind one of the most inside the horror movies to date. Well, yep, one of the most anticipated horror movies. Yeah, which is another thing, because like he plays like 3 scary games like all the time. He plays like scary games all the time to the point where he's desensitized to it. He should know like what to be scary. You like the one where it was the waves feed with Iron Lung and all. Yeah, I know, but the thing is, like with like the one where it was like the ocean one, the waves seem so peaceful as it crashed against the shore. That one actually felt like he was actually gonna be able to figure it out, considering the fact that the ocean is like his biggest fear. What's his quote? Oh yeah, fuck the ocean. Like, the ocean is his biggest fear, so you would think that he would be able to come up with something about it. And this is not me saying that he's stupid. It's just me, like, I was actually surprised when he wasn't able to, like, think of anything. Because I was like, Mark, isn't this, like, one of your biggest fears? You can come up with something on this. And the thing is, I can see his fears on this, because I've seen, like, actual videos with, like, actual creatures of the waters that are actually scary. But there's this one where it's like it's just this one like I don't know if it's like a squid, octopus, or whatever the fuck it is, but it's just constantly T-posing. Okay, the ramp is done. But there were actually some where it actually did feel like that he was actually locked in on it. You know, I still need to play Iron Lung. Maybe I'll stream that one day. Maybe I'll stream that. I still need to play Iron Lung. That is a game that seems like I need to do. But yeah. I think I'll get like see if I can get like 50% of this done, and then I'm gonna get off. Because I do want to wake up early tomorrow, and I do want to stream Hitman. By the way, Uno during the weekend, right? Or is it tomorrow? I don't know if we're playing like Lethal Company or Repo tomorrow, but if we're doing Uno tomorrow, I'm good with whatever. I'm honestly just good with whatever you guys got. And so, I do plan on streaming early in the morning tomorrow before I get on with you guys. Is but yeah, just if we can all come to like a consensus on like what we want, like what we want to play, I'm down for that. I still need to get Battlefront. I still need to get Battlefront. That is a game that I've seen Matt Glitch play, and I was like, I need to play. This is a game that I might want to play. I'm busy tomorrow. I've got other I got another speech planned next week, so okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, okay. Yeah, yeah, I don't really know what we're doing tomorrow exactly, but if we're like down to play like Uno on the weekends, I can do that. I remember like last time we played Uno, we were just like yelling at each other. That was fun. Let's do that again. Let's yell at each other out of absolute rage. But during the weekend, I'll make time. Yes. But yeah, that was fun. We should do this. We should do that again, where we just rage at each other. Where like everyone's yelling at each other, and then there's just me. It's like, okay, listen, hold on, have mercy, please. It's like me playing. I can't even do it. That's like the only time I can really plead for mercy. Like we're playing prop plans. They see me. I don't even get time to even plead. I don't even get time to even beg for my life. But it's like, yeah, I think that's him. That's definitely him. We already do with GTA law. Yep. But this one is more of like, but GTA is more of like, I'm gonna rage quit this game. Uno is more of like, what the fuck? Why do you do this? Why do you hate me so much? Here's the thing. The end of like my break from GTA is near. But I'm debating on going back. I watched you guys play Prop Hunt, and it's also a circus. Yep. There's me playing as the plague doctor, and then there's them playing as furry characters. There was one, I think it was Lemon. He was playing as fucking buff Isabel from Animal Crossing, and I'm just like, this is a surreal thing that I am seeing here. Something I never thought that I would see, but I am seeing apparently. I never thought that I would witness this, but I am witnessing this. I say this in the voice of the Messi voice. That voice. Rail. Where is the gunk on the rail? Gunk on the rail. Gunk on the rail. We make clean and nothing's the matter. Somebody is gonna know what that reference is to. I'm pretty sure I can even say the actual lines from the book that I just made a reference to, and people still would not get it. What was it? About GTA, the only thing I really want to do is finish off the Doomsday heist. We don't really need anything else unless we want to do the Payday. Here's the thing. I kind of want to like complete another Payday. But I honestly am just like, I'm debating going back because of the amount of like how much I would always get mad at that game. I am like, even now, like I'm still kind of like I'm getting worked up even just thinking about it. I'm just like, ooh, no, oh no. Like that one. Cleaning the park. Cleaning the park, we make shine and nothing's the matter. Milk in the batter, milk in the batter. We make cake and nothing's the matter. That's the actual line from the book, though, by the way. Milk in the batter. That's an actual line from the book I'm referencing. It's a children's book. I just want to say it's a children's book. I think I still have the book. I looked at that book the other day. The book is called In the Night Kitchen. I looked at it yesterday. I was like, oh, I found it. I was like, well, I don't know what to say, man. I would I wouldn't take it too seriously. I know the point is to get as much money as possible, but I don't really care for it as if we make mistakes. Yeah, I know. I feel like I shouldn't. And the thing is, I shouldn't, but then I immediately just get worked up about it. But anyway, the In the Night Kitchen, I remember loving that book when I was a kid. I found the book again. It doesn't have to be perfect. Yeah, I know, but I just get way too worked up about it. But the book In the Night Kitchen, anyway, as I was saying, the book In the Night Kitchen, I loved reading it as a kid. I loved it as a kid. A few days ago, I found it. I found the exact book, and I was like, oh, I used to love it. Oh, okay, yeah, this is going great. It's the same exactly how I remember it. Okay, great. And immediately closes the book because I immediately closed the book because I was like, everything's great, and that's a full-on dick and balls. I'm not joking. Like, whoever made this book just drew this. And I'm just like, why? Yeah. A book that I used to love as a kid. Wasn't expecting that. Yeah, I wasn't expecting that either. When I was reading it again, I was like, oh, great book. I used to love this as a kid. Great, and that's enough reading. That's enough reading for today. And you know, I'm just gonna end this stream here. That's a weird note to leave the stream on, but did I? Oh, I could. It's a weird note to leave the stream on, but yeah. There was a lot of other books that I did like reading as a kid that didn't turn out to be as weird, but that one was the most weird. But yeah, we were playing GTA for months straight. Yeah, I think that's what really got to me, was the fact that we were playing it for a long time, like really for a whole bunch straight. But I'm gonna end this stream here, so I'm gonna thank everyone for watching. Shows other people, recommend it to other people. Join Discord, link is in the description. Join Twitch, link is also in the description. Also Twitch, also Kick. I'm also on Kick now, so make sure to try and go over there now. Later, Panda. Later, Merrick. And so yeah, I'm over on Kick now as well. So go and join me over there. Link is also in the description. See you guys later, and goodbye.